It's a new year, so that means I have 6 different people that I think you should seek out and find and follow this year. Who are they and why should you follow them? Find out in a minute because it's time.
Holy nuclear time bombs! Holy overeating! Holy roller coasters!
It's time!
It's time.
It's time for the YM Sidekick Podcast!
Hello, heroes, and Happy New Year. My name is Tom Pounder, and you are listening to the YM Sidekick Podcast. This is the podcast where I get people together to learn digital tools and trends that are happening around the world and how they apply to our ministry context. And today is a different kind of a show that I normally do. I don't have anybody that I'm actually interviewing. This is a show that I do towards the end of December or early January, in which I highlight 6 different people that I follow and I benefit from greatly. These are people in the ministry world or social media world, and they can be groups of people as well, but that I follow and that I really get a lot out of, and they're really inspiring and hopeful for me. So I pass them along to you just in case you're not following them yourselves. So what I do is I take a few minutes to highlight who they are, what they do, and why they're valuable and a great resource for all of us. But before I go into that, I do want to say there is a little bit of criteria that I do in compiling this list, okay? Because I follow a bunch of different people and not everyone is on this list, although I have done this for about 5 consecutive years. And you can find the previous lists actually in my show notes in the podcast. But there is a little bit of criteria that I have for why I choose these people. The first criteria is that this person or group has to be involved with digital or technological stuff or social media, or they have to be involved with online ministry, student ministry, family ministry, church communicators. They don't have to be ministers, but they have to be involved in those fields of work. Why? Because those are the ones that I'm following. Those are the ones I'm passionate about and I'm excited about. And those are the ones that I actually feel most comfortable recommending to other people. So that's the first criteria. The second criteria is that they have to be posting consistently, whether they have a vlog, a blog, or podcast, or they're just consistently on a social media platform. They have to be posting consistently. Here's the one thing I've learned over time of just following different people is that I get a lot of great resources from a lot of people. But one thing I hate the most is that when I see some great piece of content and then go to that person's website and they post things like once every 6 months or once every other month or something like that, where they're not posting consistently, it drives me crazy. And so I don't feel comfortable recommending you to follow someone if they're not constantly contributing to the conversations that are happening. So that's it. Those are the only 2 criteria that I have. It's not an extensive list, but it is some criteria that I have. So if you're wondering why I recommend these people, those are the criteria that I factor in while I'm picking out people to recommend to you all. All right, so I'm ready to begin, but before I do that real quick, I do want to encourage you, if you are following anything that I do, I have the YM Sidekick Podcast, which is this. I also have the Digital in 5 show that I do every other week that is on video and on audio. And I also have a regular blog that I keep up to date with every week that I'm posting stuff on. I would love for you to follow all that at ymsidekick.com. I've also got the Digital Bootcamp Facebook group that I get all ministers together and we learn digital tools and trends and apply them into our ministry context. And we're posting every day, just trying to encourage each other and give different tips and tools to help each other. If you want to learn all that stuff, go to ymsidekick.com. I've got it all right there. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to go 1 to 6 in no particular order. 6 people I think you should seek out in 2021. Number 1 is Ray DeArmas. Now, I met Ray a few years ago through a mutual friend of ours, Jeff Reed, and you've heard Jeff on the podcast before, and actually you've heard Ray on the podcast as well. I've had him on before, but Ray is the online pastor at Christ Fellowship Church in Miami, Florida, and he is really active on Twitter. Now, I love Ray because of his insights and what he says on Twitter. He's engaging with people, and he's not just posting all religious stuff or Bible stuff. He's posting stuff about Miami sports. He loves Miami sports, and I love following him to get his insights there. But he's also a co-host of Jeff Reed's podcast on the Church.digital podcast. So him and Jeff do a great job on the Church Digital podcast, and they talk about online ministry. And anytime I've ever really had a question about some online stuff, I feel really comfortable going to Ray and asking his input and his insights. So if you're into online ministry, if you're doing social media and you're actually an online campus pastor or a digital pastor, I would suggest following Ray because he's a great person to follow. He's really active on Twitter and he's really hospitable. He'll answer any and all questions. So super great guy, one that you should definitely be following in 2021. Number 2 is Tyler Sampson. Tyler Sampson is the lead pastor for Church Anywhere. And Church Anywhere is a microsite home church movement, not like multi-site, but microsite, using homes and other venues like prisons to minister to people and to create these smaller communities. And he uses a lot of online and digital resources to do that. And so he's the lead pastor there. He's also the admin for Online Plus Digital Church Leaders Facebook group. It's a great group for online ministers and digital pastors, and I'm going to include the link under his bio when I do the show notes. But the other thing that he does, which is awesome, is that he actually has a YouTube channel, which thousands of subscribers, where he does music covers. He's a musician too. He does a bunch of everything, and it's very impressive. But he makes videos, he makes music covers, and he does devotionals all on his YouTube page as a way to minister to people. And I think it's just fantastic to see all the stuff that he's doing to use digital tools and online tools to reach people for Christ. So you definitely want to check out Tyler this year. He's a great resource, again, for online ministry digital pastors. So I love following him and seeing what he's up to, and he gives me encouragement and inspiration. So he's the second person you should follow in 2021. Number 3 is Digivangelism. Now, I first discovered Digivangelism on TikTok, actually. I really got into TikTok in 2020, and as I was searching through different stuff, I saw Digivangelism, and I'm like, wow, what a great idea. And the goal of Digivangelism on TikTok, and actually in their whole platform and what they do with Twitter and their website and stuff, is to help church leaders reach people with the love of Jesus online. Again, they're using online tools. They're really implementing stuff on TikTok and encouraging ministers on TikTok, but they're also encouraging people. They're getting involved in Twitter, and they have a website as well. They actually have a really cool book about TikTok, which is TikTok's Guide for Churches, that I'm going to include the link on in my show notes. But this is a great group of people who are working to help, again, churches get online a little bit more, and they're using TikTok. Again, I first discovered them on TikTok, and they're really active on that. But I would encourage you to follow them because they've got great tips, but they also got great ideas on how you can use TikTok for ministry. So I think it's fantastic. I think what they're doing is great, and they're someone that you should search out and look for in 2021 because I think they're just getting started, and I think the ball is going to continue to roll with them, and they're going to get more and more involved, and they're going to have some great ideas to share with people who are looking to get online. And if you want to use TikTok, which I am using, I think you should definitely follow them and get insights from them and learn from them as well. So that's another group to follow in 2021. Number 4 is Brianne Fleming. Now, Brianne's not a minister, but she is someone who has tons of great content about brands and marketing. And she is someone who is very, very active on Twitter. I don't know if she's active on Facebook or Instagram or other places. I follow her on Twitter, and she hosts actually a really popular Twitter chat every Friday called Pop Chat, and it's actually hashtag Pop Chat, so you can just look at that. And actually, I'll have it in the show notes as well, that you can just follow along with her stuff. But she is awesome, and she also actually has a podcast called Making the Brand. She's just got a lot of great insights, and she asks a lot of great questions, and she's constantly talking to people all the time about marketing and branding. And I just find her so inspirational. She's a fresh voice for me, and she's from Florida, and so there's something about Florida and sunshine. I don't know. I mean, Ray's from Florida as well. But the reality is, she's a fresh voice for me that I think is really awesome and speaks a lot of great thoughts and wisdom into branding and marketing. Again, her blog is great. She's not like consistently posting once a week or anything like that, but what she does on Twitter and with her podcast and with the Pop Chat, She's someone who you will learn a lot from this year if you start following her. So I would strongly recommend following Brian Fleming if you're involved with social media, marketing, branding, or any kind of church communications for your church or ministry. Number 5 is Jate Earnhardt. Now, you've heard of Jate before because he's been on my podcast before, and actually he worked at my church for a number of years as well. But Jate is someone who is a great mind and a great thinker. He's extremely gifted in digital media and motion graphics. However, I feel like his higher calling is to the gaming community. He has a passion for gamers to come to know Jesus Christ, and he uses Twitch to stream and chat with people as he plays. But he also created this group on Discord called Love Clan, and he created this a number of years ago, again, as an opportunity to minister to gamers, but now it's expanded well beyond that. And, it's almost could be considered like a church movement of sorts. But he started Love Clan with an opportunity to have conversations with people, help people, but also be able to share with them about Jesus Christ and answer their questions about life and about God. And so Jade is just really active on Twitch. He's streaming his games a lot. And if you want to learn more about what he's doing and why he's doing it, I would strongly encourage you, just get on Twitch. I'm going to include his stream in the show notes. But get on Twitch and start following him. Again, he's not very active in communicating stuff on Twitter or on Facebook or whatnot about what he's doing and why he's doing. He shows you what he's doing and how he does it. And he's just a great person. I know Jeff's had him on his podcast a number of times. I've had him on mine talking about gaming. But if you're really looking at reaching the gaming community this year, Jade's one of the people that you need to follow. Number 6 is DJ Soto. DJ Soto is the bishop at Virtual Reality Church. In fact, he started Virtual Reality Church. I had first heard about DJ Soto a number of years ago and his playing around with virtual reality. And again, I'm talking about like 5 or 6 years ago when I first started hearing these inklings about virtual reality and what people can do for ministry. It just seemed so far out there for me. But DJ Soto was messing around with this stuff, and he has now created a church on virtual reality where people are coming to know Jesus. And it's fascinating to see how he's using virtual reality to minister to people. So if you're looking at taking your online ministry to the next level and you've been doing stuff and you're looking at how you can reach other people and different people, virtual reality is good. And it's not just for random people or for the has-beens or whatnot. Virtual reality, people are really playing around with virtual reality, and considering that Facebook's Oculus is so popular right now, I know a number of people who got Oculuses for Christmas. It's very popular. Virtual reality is not going away. It's not a fad. It's going to stay around, and DJ is on the forefront of thinking through how to minister to people online through virtual reality. So if you're looking at taking, again, your online ministry to the next level, start following DJ. See what he's doing with virtual reality. Get into the church service and see what's happening. It will blow your mind, and you'll be amazed at how God is using virtual reality for ministry purposes and for people to come to know him, and how God is using DJ to minister to a whole group of people who would probably never step foot in a physical church building. So DJ is my last but not least person that you should follow in 2021. All right, so there you have it. My 6 who I think you should seek out and follow in 2021. These are my 6, and again, I'm including the list of other people that I've suggested you follow in years past on the show notes. So you definitely want to hit up the notes there and click on those people, because those people are still really relevant and valuable as well. So those are my 6. I would love to hear from you. Who are you following? Who are you excited about following? And share them along with me. So hit me up on Twitter at @TAPounder. I would love to hear your thoughts on this today. All right, heroes, well, that wraps it up for our show. As always, I appreciate you following along with me. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a great start to your new year. And until next time, have a great one.